It's weaving day. This is going to be so much fun. You're going to love the weaving. The first thing we need to do to prepare for our weaving is prepare our burlap. This is what's called burlap. That's what we printed and stamped on. And what we need to know about is in burlap, you'll see there are threads that go up and down this way and threads that go over this way. Now, the threads that go back and forth from left to right are called weft. And the threads that go up and down are called warp. So this is warp and weft. Those are two weaving words that you should know. Now, this is already woven. So what we've got to do is we've got to pull out some of the threads so we can put our threads through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the side and I'm going to pull off some of these strands. And you can see as I pull this down, this is an example of what I'm pulling off. I'm going to fray, this is called fraying. I'm going to fray the edges just a little bit because that's going to make it easier for me to pull my weft threads out, because we are going to pull some weft threads out and we are going to weave in some weft threads. So this is making it easier for us. Once you've done that, I'm going to decide where am I going to start to weave, and you're going to weave around your printing. So let me just show you. I'm going to start in the middle. And you can see right here, do you see the weft threads? I'm going to get a hold of one, and then I'm going to hold my burlap and pull. Do you see how I just pulled that out? And you might notice I now have an empty space there. I'm going to go down a little bit and I'm going to pull another one out. Now, some kids have a little bit of trouble pulling these out because they're nervous. They're going to mess something up. You can't. You just pull hard, and you might be noticing, do you see how now I've got 3 places where I can weave in? Wherever you want to weave in, you've got to pull that weft out. Now I'm going to show you the yarn. My yarn is organized by color in the boxes over at the yarn station. And when you get the yarn, I need you to really take care and be respectful and responsible with it. As far as figuring out how long to make your yarn thread, what I like to do is put the yarn at my shoulder and make it the length of my arm. All right? And I'll demonstrate that when this video is over. But this gives me a nice strand, which I'm then going to take, and the needles are over at the supply table. I have them in sponges just like this. I need you to be super careful and responsible with those. You're going to take your yarn and put it right through the eye of the needle. The eye of the needle is the hole there. And when you pull it through, you are going to create what's called a tail. This is its tail. And you want your tail about that long. Alrighty? Then the next thing you're going to do is you are going to weave into one of the areas where you pulled a thread out. And what I like to do is I like to start by going under. Once I start by going under, I'm going to pull this until my tail is I'm going to make another tail, so it has 2 tails. This tail is about this long. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over 2, under 2, over 2, under 2, over 2 threads, under 2 threads, over 2 threads, under 2 threads. I'm going to do that 3 or 4 times and then pull. You notice when I pull through, I still want to leave this little tail here. You want to make sure that stays in there. And I'm going to keep going. So I go over 2, under 2, over 2, under 2. And make sure that those stitches are very consistent, which means the same each time. So you can see that each time I've gone over 2, under 2. I'm going to do this all the way to the end. So give me just a second. I'm going to go all the way to the end here, and then I'm going to show you what you're going to do to kind of tie it off. Remember, each time you're going to pull it taut. That means nice and tight and straight, still leaving that tail there. All right. And you know what? You're going to love this weaving. I have found over the years that everybody loves this weaving. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get the hang of at first, but once you do, you're going to love it. Now, once you get to the end, you're going to pull it and you're going to cut just like this. You can come back here to the tail and cut it just like that, so it matches. I've just woven my first piece of yarn through. You can go ahead and you can keep the same color and keep using this until you run out of it. You can change colors. You're the artist. Be inspired by the designs, the colors that you have already used, and really fill up these areas with the yarn. Have a great time creating your Native American weaving.